And so it's preparing for the live stream right now, setting up your meeting for YouTube Live. And so here we are on YouTube. Okay, so we're on YouTube as well, and hopefully I won't keep interrupting myself. I can hear myself. Can you hear the YouTube at all?
I can hear the YouTube. It's about 3 seconds after you say it.
Yeah, so what I'm going to try to do is see if I can mute that for right now. Okay. Yeah, what can I say? Okay. So I think I have it. So here we are with Jane Dutton, star of many major opera stages and companies across, all around the world. Metropolitan Opera, San Francisco Opera, the Los Angeles Opera, the English National Opera, the Gran Teatre de Liceu. Oh, I'm sorry, Liceu.
Liceu, because it's Catalan.
Barcelona.
Yes.
Barcelona. Okay, good. And New York City Opera, of course. And going from mezzo-soprano then to dramatic soprano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's terrific.
Later in life.
Yeah, it's a little unusual. Usually, well, I've heard of mezzos going to dramatic soprano, but a lot of times I've heard of dramatic sopranos going to mezzo.
Yes, and that may happen eventually for me too. I may do a whole full circle moment, but it happens. I will say that when I was a young singer studying in my master's, my teacher then, even though I was really having problems accessing my top voice, said that she thought I might switch to soprano one day, and she was correct. So.
Well, there you go. I mean,
yes.
And you studied with Margaret Harshaw?
Yes, and she was the one who, and it was about the third or fourth lesson that I had with her. And I was really struggling. I mean, A's were dicey. And so to hear somebody say, you know, that eventually you might sing Isolde was kind of shocking. I was glad that I had a theory class, so I actually knew what Tristan and Isolde was. But other than that, I would not have known much Wagner at that point.
Sure. And now you've done a lot of performing, and now you're teaching also at Indiana University. And are you in the same hallway as Margaret Harshaw?
No, I'm in a different building, but they're connected.
Okay.
So yeah, I pass her. I will say that I choose to come into the building in a way that I pass her studio every day. Okay. So, or her former studio every day. And so I pay my homage when I go in to make sure I'm doing things the right way.
That's great. That's great. We all have our mentors, and some are really big mentors. And I think she's definitely one of them. Well, we've got some wonderful Florida Southern vocal students that will sing for you today. The first up is Jessica Oney. Jessica, are you there? If you could unmute and let us know you're there, that'd be great.
Hello.
There she is. All right. So basically the way we'll do this is similar to our voice lab, and that's where Jessica would introduce herself and then introduce the piece and say a little bit about it and then dive in.
Okay, sounds great.
And I'll mute myself during this.
I will mute myself during the performance.
Oh, did you want me to start?
Yes, you can start, Jessica.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, hello, my name is Jessica Oney, and I'm a senior voice performance major here at Florida Southern College. Today I'll be singing Si me ves avec des ailes by Reynaldo Hahn. And in this piece, I'm a poet, and I wish that I could send my verses of love to my beloved as if they could fly, as if they had wings. Me verrez tous les frères, et votre jardin si beau, si mille envies, comme l'oiseau. Il volerait étinceler vers votre foyer irait. C'est mes envies, comme l'esprit. Prie-vous, pires et fidèles, ils accouraient nuit et jour. C'est mes envies, si mes vers envies.
Bravo, Jessica. Very nice. Very nice. It really lovely. You have a lovely tone. It's even throughout. I especially liked the way. Are you doing this in the original key? Is that an F sharp at the top?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. I loved the way your voice opened up for the top, and I would love to work with you a little bit on making sure that you stay as open for the lower parts. I feel a little bit like it maybe was a little bit towards your front teeth, and then when you got up higher, we moved into this lovely mask area. And I would like to work to see if we can get all of it in that lovely mask area. Okay? Now let me, before we really dive in, I just want to say, I am hearing you via computer, and it's a snapshot of your vocal life. So your teacher always gets the final say in everything. All right. So I'm just, if none of this works, you just forget it. I am just trying to help, and feel free to ask questions, please. Cause it's my job to explain to you why I think it's important to do certain things. But again, I'm only hearing you for a snapshot, so you follow your teacher's advice, but we'll give a go at it. Okay. I would like you to start it. We're going to do it. Are you okay if I give you a starting pitch and you go a cappella?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Start the very first line. And what I want you to try to do is, instead of thinking of the diction right here at your teeth, the same way that you would speak, you want to get it behind your eyeballs. So it's going to be a little higher. And I want to give you kind of a marker as to how to find that higher shelf. My molars are right here, and it's kind of right on the underside of my mask and my eyeballs. So I want you to sing the first phrase as if you're putting the consonants and vowels equally behind both eyeballs, but you might use the hard palate or the molars on the hard palate as a way to get there.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that.
Okay, there's your F sharp. Are we in a different key?
Yeah, I think it starts on G.
Okay, oh, you're a half step higher, so I'll try to remember that.
G sharp?
G sharp?
Yeah, it's G sharp, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there it is, okay, that sounds better.
I have a different key here, sorry.
It's okay.
So aim right there.
Okay. Do you want me to do this? I could.
Yeah, give it a go. Good, okay, can we talk about that? What did that feel like?
It felt more open, it felt easier.
Good, good. You can still give me really good diction in that position, but that's going to match the higher note that you had earlier because your jaw really opened for that one. And it was not, I think French is hard because it has a tendency, the diction has a tendency to get really forward almost in the mouth instead of in the mask. And by thinking a little bit more open in the jaw area and putting it behind your eyes, you got a really nice warm sound that didn't get overly bright. And I loved that kind of tone. It felt really balanced and really beautiful. Now, I want to add one more thing. Think about your jaw, and you want it relaxed, of course, but you also want it to be open at the same time. So I think that with the jaw, you want to make sure you're opening it in both directions and not just down.
Okay.
There is a muscle that we can't see right about here. And remember, with all muscles, it can stretch in two directions. So you want to think also up with that muscle. Frequently, a teacher might say it's like biting an apple. And what it involves is a little bit of lift right here around the nose, or a hint of a smile. So have you ever heard anything like that?
Yeah,
The idea of
like that, like smile.
Right. Now, don't go the full smile because I don't want the corners of your mouth to go across your face, but just a hint of it. Sing the first phrase for me again. Here's your G sharp. Good, good. Can you feel any kind of lift here? There you
I'm like focusing on it. I don't know if I feel it, but I'm focusing on it.
I will tell you, every time you've talked to me, you have a very natural lift there. It's great. Don't put on a concentration face where this flattens out. Okay? Try it one more time. Good, 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 good. Can we come down that passage? I know the delay is hard. I stop you and then you don't see it until later. It's tricky. Can you start on that? So you want to keep it here. And I thought before that, you were doing a really good job of keeping it right behind your eyes. As you go down the scale, still know that it has to go up into this area. Oh, sorry. Can you start right there? Uh-oh, have you lost me?
Oh. It's breaking up.
Can you start? Oh,
okay.
shoot.
I think I understood what you said.
Okay, all right. Here's your E.
Okay, Okay, I'll try. I heard only bits and pieces of what you said. It like all went away, so I didn't really understand what you said.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, it's way better now.
Good, 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 good. So on the descending line, sorry, yeah, that I'm transposing, so I might get it wrong. There's your starting pitch. But that one, keep it here also. As you went down the descending line, you can't think down. You have to also think in this area. I think it starts on an E, so there's your
Okay.
E. Good. The may is the one that's going down. So can you think of pronouncing the M on the roof of your mouth instead of here?
Oh,
Did you get any of that, Jessica?
oh no. I did not.
Okay, let's try to get, are you on Wi-Fi or are you hardwired? You have an Ethernet?
I'm on Wi-Fi. It's saying the network bandwidth is low. That's all it's saying.
Okay, we'll make the best of it. We'll make the best of it. I'll keep repeating myself until it's clear. But what I'm going to say is
Sorry.
the M of C may, I would like you to pronounce the M on the roof of your mouth, if you can. Okay, good. The M was good. Now let's get the V in the same place. I'm going to teach you a trick about V's, P's, B's, and F's. You want to have your upper lip go over your lower lip so that the jaw doesn't come forward to pronounce those consonants. Did you get any of that?
I'm sorry, I only heard the end of it. So you wanted to, I got the end of it, so the jaw doesn't come forward, but the lip does something?
Yeah, on the ver, you want to make sure that the V goes, that your upper lip goes over your lower lip, ver, so that your lower jaw stays in the right position.
Okay. I'll try it.
That was it. That was it. That was great.
Oh, it felt weird, so I stopped.
It will feel weird because
Okay.
you're used, your jaw's coming a little bit forward or too even, and it's that ver is getting out of line with the upper notes. Good. Are you in a studio? A voice?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to, is there a mirror nearby?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to disappear from us, even if you can't stay in the sight of the camera. Can you go towards a mirror so you can see whether you're really doing this?
Okay, yeah, sure.
And keeping this up. I know it's not very interesting television for the viewing audience, but I think it'll help you.
Okay.
We're going to do that same phrase again.
Okay.
Good. Were you able to keep it there?
It doesn't look exactly like how you do it.
Okay.
I don't know. Nothing's happening.
Okay. Can you try
It's
it
not
one?
going up.
Okay. I would like you to smile your way through it one time.
Okay.
Here's your pitch again. Okay, the computer kind of got in the way, but I think that the ver stayed in line better this time. And you did have a hint of a little raising here, which is great because just a tiny bit of smile here helps you keep your soft palate up.
Okay.
Okay? I want to go back to the beginning again.
Okay.
And I want you to just be happy. I know it's not really a happy song, which is why it's hard to it's more it's not happy as in yay happy.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking you to do something that's a little bit different than what the piece is. So if you can, we're going to start again. And if you don't mind doing it a cappella, it's good because we can stop. We can start and stop. Raise a little bit here and keep hitting back here behind your eyeballs.
Okay.
The point, you want to have a point to the sound, but I think the point is out here and that it goes through there out here. Not that it's necessarily a point here. When I think of a point, forward point, I have a tendency to squeeze my voice into it. And so I want it nice and open and free. So here is your G sharp. Start the first phrase again. And be happy about it. Don't concentrate too much.
Okay.
Good. Can you do it on ah one time and really get back in here? Ah. That was lovely. Now, can you put the diction in that same place? Good. So with the bow,
comme l'oiseau, il volerait étinceler vers votre foyer.
good. Good. Can we go up to the high note one more time, to the G sharp?
Yeah.
That's Vea. It is a G sharp, right? The higher note?
Yep.
Okay, and it's that phrase before it starts on an E, correct? Or the beginning of that phrase. Yeah, okay. I want you to start that. And as you climb up, I want you to smile and lift up the apples of your cheeks as you go up. So start that there. What did that high note feel like that time?
It felt great. It felt good. It felt more free.
Good. So know that this can help you, especially as you climb up. Again, a lot of singers will talk about biting the apple, especially like on a high note, where they'll think of the upper jaw going over the lower jaw, and this helps lift all of that up and helps keep the back space a little bit more open. Can you cue up your music again and do the whole thing with the accompaniment again?
Yeah, sure.
Very good, Jessica. Try to incorporate this smile as much as you possibly can and keep the sound behind your eyeballs, which is right into the mask.
Sorry, I'm thinking. Okay. Okay. oiseaux, ils voleraient étincelles vers votre foyer. C'est mes comme l'esprit. Près de vous, pires et fidèles, ils accouraient nuit et jour. C'est mes murs en si mes vers l'amour.
Yay, very nice, Jessica, really nice. Do you have any questions? I thought you did a really, really nice job of, in the middle part of your voice, moving the diction from here to here.
Okay, yeah, I definitely, it felt a lot different than when I had previously done it. It felt a lot more free. I think I need to find the right balance between not like cheesy smile
Absolutely.
and the lifting here. So I think I'll just need to work on that, but I don't know if I have any questions. You've been awesome.
Well, thank you. What I will say is when you get to watch if you go to the archived edition of this and can watch yourself, before in the interlude, in the piano interlude, before I think Près de vous, you had the nicest lift here. It was in the interlude. You were smiling, you were set, and then as soon as you started to sing, it kind of collapsed. But you have a natural lift here, so take advantage of that gift.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful to hear you.
Thank you so much.
Nice singing, Jessica.
Thank you.
And now we're moving on to Mr. Cooper Smith. Cooper, are you there? And there he is.
Hi, Cooper.
So Cooper, as you know, this is the same drill. Introduce yourself and the piece, a little bit about it, and then off you go, okay?
All right. So I'm Cooper Smith. I'm a senior getting my BA in music at Florida Southern. I'll be singing Ich grolle nicht by Robert Schumann.
Great.
And it is about a love that I've lost, that I talk about how I knew that this love probably wasn't going to last, but I went for it anyway, and now I'm living with the results of that. So
Okay, good.
ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz auch bricht, ewig verlorenes Lied, ewig verlorenes Lied, ich grolle nicht, ich grolle nicht, wie du ausstrahlst in Diamantenpracht, es fällt kein Strahl in deines Herzens Nacht, das weiß ich längst. Ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz auch bricht, ich sah dich ja im Traume sah die Nacht in deines Herzens Raume und sah die Schlange, die dir am Herzen frisst. Ich sah mein Lieb, wie sehr du elend bist. Ich grolle nicht, ich grolle nicht.
Terrific, Cooper. Really good. Wonderful. This is one of my favorite songs, by the way. I love this piece. I like the poetry. I like the piece. It is one of my favorite pieces. Couple of things I want to cover with you. One of them is breath.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
I see that your inhalation is quite good, and I see you get nice expansion in the rib cage.
Mhm.
Now, as soon as you start to sing, I see it already come in, the ribs. And you want to make sure that your rib cage stays wide, because there's a muscle, that diaphragmatic muscle down here, that we want to keep. We don't want it to rebound up immediately so that you get rid of all your air.
Mhm.
So there are many different schools of breathing. And the one that I have my students do is expanded rib cage and then pulling in down here. Are you a pushing out or pulling in down there?
I'm more pulling in.
Okay, perfect. Then we'll speak the same language then. What I want you to watch out for, because I do think that the pulling in is working for you, even though I really couldn't see that, but from what I could see the rest of you, I thought it really worked. I'm good. You don't have, yeah, perfect. So your sternum is right here. And what I want you to do is, as you sing, I want your sternum to move forward. So feel like it's moving forward so that you always keep your rib cage expanded.
Okay.
It's not really that it's up, but it feels a little bit out and up. And the muscles that you use to hold it there or to keep it there, believe it or not, are these muscles here in your back. So if you can take your hands and go like this and do a goal post. Do you feel the muscles right about here that get activated?
Yes, ma'am.
Those are the muscles that you want to be kind of pulling down, and that will help keep your sternum up.
Okay.
Okay? Now, don't let the sternum collapse when you start to sing. Are you okay to sing a little bit a cappella?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might have different keys. What's your starting pitch?
D natural.
Okay. So we're about a step off from my copy. Okay. So think about your back and your sternum and just do a handful of phrases for me.
Okay. Ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz auch bricht, ewig verlornes Lieb, ewig verlornes Lieb.
What does that feel like? That's terrific.
It feels much freer.
Yeah, it feels as though, I like to think, okay, you know what? If you're ever watching TV at like 10:59 in an evening and they do the lottery balls, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You want the lottery balls after they've released the air underneath them. You want the notes to always feel like they have something under them. Frequently, teachers will say it's like the note is on a cloud or on a bed of air or like a beach ball on top of a fountain. And that's what you were able to do.
Okay. Yeah. It felt really good.
Yeah, it sounded, your legato was wonderful. And it released some different colors that maybe you were thinking too much, kind of pushing down because it's low. And this allowed you to kind of be in this space without thinking about this space necessarily. Because I do think that you're in the mask. And this helped you add more of this color into it.
Mhm.
So now, tell me what do you ever think about your jaw?
I try not to like actively think about it while I'm singing, I guess.
Okay, I'm a big jaw person. I think that the position of the jaw can really help free everything up. And it gives the tongue more room
Mhm.
when you get the jaw sort of out of the way, since they're connected back there. I like to think that it is exactly like eating an apple. And I mentioned this to Jessica too. So if you see me from profile here, I'm going to eat my fake apple. And you see that angle?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to have that kind of angle when you sing. It helps you get into the right spot without having to force it. So we're going to jump ahead. Let's get to some of the higher stuff because it'll help with the jaw. I'm sorry, get out of the frame because I'm looking at the music. Ich sah dich ja in Trauma. Can we start there? And that's also a D, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Now, as you do it, you want to think the biting the apple, or think of these teeth always ahead of the lower teeth. So that the upper jaw feels like it lifts up and out of the lower jaw.
Okay, gotcha. Ich sah dich ja im Traume und sah die Nacht in deines Herzens Raume und sah die Schlange, die dir am Herzen frisst. Ich sah mein Lieb.
Very good, very good. I want to work on the G. And Dada's hats, yeah. Sorry, because it starts on an E, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm transposing. So that's an E to the G, right? No. What's the high note? Sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's a G.
It's a G, okay. So,
It's a G.
yeah, the C to G, okay. Can you do it on ah one time? Ah, and what I want you to do is really bite into the upper note. Let the upper jaw really lift out of your head. Just go ah.
Oh.
Yes, very good. Now, we need a little bit more space behind it. So can you yawn for me? When you take in your inhalation, start with about 25% of a yawn and do that ah.
Oh.
So can you have the upper pitch, make sure that it's hitting around your molars on the hard palate.
Oh.
There you go. Now add one more thing to it. So that molar thing is really helpful for you. Add your sternum into it and you've got it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was not bad, actually. It was better when you didn't breathe. So let's go back. Do you feel like you got it to the same place? The molars this time?
Not quite. I don't feel like I quite got
Okay.
it.
Do you want to try another time with the breathing and getting it back far enough?
Yes, please.
I know when I say the molars that it's like I'm telling you to sing back in your mouth, but my molars are about here and it's right behind the eyeballs.
Oh.
Ooh, that's getting really close. That's getting really close. I know it's a little scary to have to do it like this because it feels like I've taken all your security blankets away, right? But
Yeah.
this is really quite good. Because this is the start of how that opens up really nicely. Now, let's put some words with it. How about und sah die schlank? And put all of the diction further back here and see if that helps you.
Und sah die Schlange, die dir am Herzen frisst.
Not bad at all. The und is here.
Mhm.
You're putting it here. See if you can get it. I know oohs are hard to do that. Und. When I was in music school, all of the teachers talked like this. Well, hello there. They all kept their space all the time. And they were always talking back here because they were all big opera singers. See if you can say the diction for me, just und sah schlank. Und as if you're imitating what I'm just doing right now.
Okay.
Just speak the text for me.
Und sah die Schlange, die dir am Herzen frisst.
Yeah, very good. Und. Can you give und a little more room?
Und.
There we go. That accesses this too. Now, I don't want you to sing it. I want you to sing it with the same opening that you just had.
Und sah die Schlange, die dir am Herzen frisst.
Yeah, how did that feel?
It felt really good, yeah.
Yeah, I got the diction. I know that it feels a little bit like candy in your mouth the first time you do it this way, because it's not as precise as this is. But in singing, we want to really keep that column of sound, and this allows you to keep the column of sound. Can you cue up your music and do the whole thing?
Yes, I can, absolutely.
Really good, Cooper.
Thank you.
So as you do it, think diction a little further back, but mostly sternum in the beginning.
Mhm. Ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz aufbricht, ewig verlorenes Lied, ewig verlorenes Lied.
Good. Can I stop you? Can I have you start again?
Mhm.
Your sternum looks great. Now make sure you're really pulling in down here.
Mhm.
When you did it before, you were definitely doing both. I'm not sure you were pulling in this time.
Ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz aufbricht,
Good.
ewig verlorenes Lied, ewig verlorenes Lied, ich grolle nicht, ich grolle nicht, wie du ausstrahlst in Diamantenpracht.
Good. Can I stop you again? Because I think the breathing is going to be really helpful for you. It feels now like you're pushing this out instead of this.
Okay.
Can you keep one hand on your sternum? And so you can feel that coming out. One time, I want you to really be able to feel it. Can you go ha, ha, ha?
Ha, ha, ha.
Did you feel that popping out?
Yeah, I did.
That's the coordination. This is out, this is in. And I think right through here is where you were pushing out like that.
Mhm.
So can you cue it up one more time?
I can, yeah.
Sorry.
From the beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning.
Ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz aufbricht, in Diamantenpracht, es fällt kein Strahl in deines Herzens Nacht, das weiß ich längst. Ich grolle nicht, und wenn das Herz auch bricht, ich sah dich ja im Traume und sah die Nacht in deines Herzens Raume und sah die Schlange, die dir am Herzen fräst. Ich sah, mein Lieb, wie sehr du elend bist. Ich grolle nicht, ich grolle nicht.
Very good. How did that feel?
It felt really good.
Great. You had most of the coordination. It was just, yeah, it was terrific. Really terrific. And it just opened up the top. Really wonderful work, Cooper. You've got a wonderful voice.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? Anything that didn't make sense?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Excellent job. Just keep that sternum going forward and then this going in. And that ha, 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 or staccato exercises kind of help you feel that coordination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yay, very good.
Thank you.
Cooper Smith, thank you very much. And Ms. Dutton, this brings us to Tyler Anderson.
Okay.
Tyler, are you there? Oh, there he is.
Yes, I am.
Hi, Tyler. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Ms. Dutton.
So Tyler, you know the drill.
All right. So the piece I'm singing is called Chanson de l'amour de Don Quixote. And this song is by Yankee Bear as well. In this piece, I am considering this from a narrative perspective where I'm going to basically comfort Sancho as he mourns over the loss of Don Quixote.
Ne pleure pas, Sancho, ne pleure pas, mon bon. Ton maître n'est pas mort, il n'est pas loin de toi. Il vit dans une île heureuse où tout est pur et sans mensonge. Dans l'île enfin trouvée, où tu viendras un jour. Dans l'île désirée, oh mon ami Sancho, les livres sont brûlés, infante tas de cendres, si tous les livres mentiers, il suffit de pour que je vive fantôme dans la vie et réel dans la mort, tel l'étrange sort du pauvre Don Quichotte.
Wonderful. really good. I love this song too. You guys picked great pieces. Really, really nice. You have a very resonant speaking voice. It's really resonant. And what I like is that you really you do a nice job of accessing that when you sing. And that's really important. I think that your jaw looks really good. I would also say the same thing to you that I said to Cooper. I think your chest cavity needs to stay up a little bit more. Okay. And so to feel the sternum, so I would, to feel the sternum kind of moving forward. Yeah, there you go. I hate to have students put their shoulders too far back because I think that it needs to be a little, you don't want to overextend your shoulders. So yeah, relax your shoulders. Now do the same ha, ha, ha that I had Cooper do. Ha, ha.
Ha, ha, ha.
Are you pulling in your stomach as you, or your lower abdominal muscles as you do the ha?
I think I feel a little bit of the support, but it's not all the way there.
Yeah, see if you can take your belly button and move it into your spine as you go ha.
Ha.
Is it coming? Can you stand back just like a foot or so? So I can see more of your body?
Okay.
I know you're all hooked up with a headphone. Sorry. There, good, 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 good. Now to go ha.
Ha, ha, ha.
There we go. There you go. The last one you pulled in. Okay. So
all
that's
right.
what you want to do. Are you in your breathing? Are you when you take air in, once you start using it, are you supposed to pull in down here?
I feel like the support is pulling, a little bit down in there is how I kind of
Okay. Do you think about your lower abdominal muscles, the ones below your belly button?
Yes.
Okay, good, 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 good. What I really want to work with you on is space. And by space, I'm talking about what happens in the back half of your head. Do you think about lifting your soft palate?
Sometimes, but not actively.
Okay, can we work on that? Do you mind?
Okay. No, I don't mind.
And again, if your teacher does not like a raised soft palate, you can ignore it after the next 20 minutes, okay? I like to draw pictures. So I'm going to draw you a little picture here. This is looking inside your mouth. And it's your uvula and then the arches that are around it. When I first learned to sing, and I had a teacher tell me to raise my soft palate, I didn't really know what I was doing. And I just thought of lifting in this direction, okay? Which then caused me to lift a lot of other things that didn't need to be lifted. And then later on, I learned that it really needs to go in this direction. You want to think wide, not just up. So here's I'm a horrible drawer. So that's your uvula. And these are the directions that I want you to raise your soft palate.
Okay.
Now, there are a couple ways to get that in a really easy, not too fussy way. One way is when you get ready to breathe and you do an inhalation, to think the first 25, 30% of a yawn. So just right now, just sort of easily start a yawn. And now, do you feel some muscles back there move?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those sides of the arches that I drew, I feel them kind of go into my ears, the inner ear. I feel a little pressure in my ears when I'm doing it correctly. Okay, the other way you can think about it is that even if you're singing Ne pleurez pas, that you trick yourself in the inhalation that you're going to sing everything on aw or o, so that we get the nice dome here. Now, I don't know if I have the right key. What's your starting pitch?
E.
Oh, good. We do have the right key. Okay. I want you to do just the first phrase actually on an O vowel.
Okay.
Okay, O or ah, AW, like saw. Either one, I'll let you choose.
Oh.
Yeah, very nice. Now, one problem with having a lot of space is you can get seduced into singing back there in that space. So I use the hard palette. I'm going to draw another picture. One of these days, I'm going to take an art lesson so I can actually learn to draw. Okay. This is your hard palette, and this is where your soft palette and then the pharynx starts. So can you take your tongue, run it along the roof of the mouth until it turns into soft tissue? And you feel that line where the hard and soft palate meet. So here are the rules. You can make all the space you can back here, but don't sing behind that line that you just found. You have to sing on the hard palate, or I do this. I don't know if this is going to work on the internet, so I apologize if you can't tell any difference. But I'm going to sing in my space. I'm going to create the same amount of space. I'm going to sing in my space. Then I'm going to move it to the right position where it's space, but still on my hard palate. And then I'm going to get rid of all of the space. And I'm going to sing the same pitch, but I'm going to change it 3 ways. It may not work because of the internet. So the first one, too far back, then the middle one just right, and then the last one is going to be too far forward. Could you tell any difference between them? It might not work on the internet.
I could hear a difference between 2 of them.
Okay, good. Okay, good. From the first one, I was in the space. So you had really good space when I asked you to do it, but you might need to be a little bit further forward. I had a good friend. I can't take credit for this, but I think it works. You make the space, but you sing in the face. Okay? Can you do the first line again on awe? Yeah, that's your balance. Very good. How did that feel?
It really brought out the resonance even more.
Yeah, because I think frequently if somebody has a kind of a low resonant voice, you try to make the most of it, and you try to do even more of it by kind of pushing down your larynx. And it kind of blocks off some of the sound that way. So you want it to be free, and this helped you be free. Okay, now, I'm sorry, my iPad keeps shutting down here and don't have the music. Let's do it on words. This is a little trickier. You got to hold that space open, but sing the words in front of it.
Ne pleure pas sans chaud.
Good, good, good. On the pa, did you feel that it kind of collapsed?
A little bit.
Okay, I want you to imagine that it's like I'm going to be like a puppeteer, I'm like a marionette, and I have little strings attached to the corners of those arches, and I'm just pulling them in this direction, okay? The whole time you're singing. Try it again.
Ne pleure pas sans chaud.
Yeah, very good. Keep going.
Ne pleure pas, ma belle.
Good. Pa, when you went down low, this collapsed. So see if you can do it. Ne pleure pas. On that, da, 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 keep this going up. Sorry, I didn't give you the right pitch.
Ne pleure pas, ma belle.
Yeah, very nice. Keep going.
Ton maître n'est pas mort, il n'est pas loin de toi.
Good, good. Can we start ton maître one more time? Make sure that when you breathe in, you do that 25% of a yawn. And try to hold the yawn, that space, while you pronounce words in front of it.
Ton maître n'est pas mort,
Good.
il n'est pas loin de toi. Il vit dans une île heureuse où tout est pire et sans mensonge.
Very good, good, very good with the space. Now, I want to add one more thing to it. I was talking both to Jessica and to Cooper about trying to do the diction a little bit higher on the roof of your mouth, right behind your eyeballs. Can we add that into the mix?
Okay.
We're going to start ton maître one more time.
Ton maître n'est pas mort, il n'est pas loin de toi. Il vit dans une île heureuse où tout est pire et sans mensonge.
Good, good, very good, really nice. Watch the last word you sang. Both of them are nasal, mensonge.
Mensonge?
Yeah, the first one, at least that time, it didn't sound like you did a nasal.
Oh, okay.
It could have been just because you were thinking about the other 10 plates that I was having you spin at the same time. Okay, how did that feel?
I think it felt like there was a little bit of more of, I think just space overall in that area because I just did the lift.
Right. What I would say, it seems to me your M's and N's are sometimes the culprits on having your space collapse. So don't make those M's or N's so pressurized that you can't keep everything free behind it. So I'm going to show you an example. Like, so sorry, A. Do you see how I pressurize that instead of pitching and singing through it? Keep the air moving underneath it and you won't grab on to specific consonants.
Okay.
Can we start there one more time? Think about that yawn.
Ton maître n'est pas mort, il n'est pas loin de toi.
Good.
Il vit dans une île heureuse où tout est pire et sans mensonge.
Very nice, really, very nice. Now, I want us to go back. I want you'll cue up the music again and we'll do the whole thing. Now, a couple of musical things I want you to think about. This has a very Spanish feel to it, okay? But it's not the Spanish feel is not in the accompaniment. A lot of times when you have Spanish music or music based on a Spanish character, that it's the accompaniment that does it, dun 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 dun, something like that. In this case, those triplets are the flavor in this piece, okay? So I want you to enjoy those triplets.
Okay.
Let them swing or rock a little bit because you're in control of it, because the accompaniment follows you definitely in this piece. It's not the kind of thing where you go, that you both set a tempo and just keep going. You don't have to slow down. You keep the framework of the rhythm, but you can keep kind of a casual swingy kind of thing with it as well. In the French language, there's inflection in all language. And in English, we do kind of phrases. I go here and I go there. That's my inflection. In French, it starts at the beginning and it doesn't stop until the end. So instead of thinking ton maître n'est pas mort, it's ton maître n'est pas mort. It just doesn't stop. Il n'est loin de toi. Il vit dans le, I'm reading this and not very well, sorry. Dans une lit heureuse en tous. You just keep heading. It takes a lot of breath energy to keep those lines going like that. So that's about 50 things I've given you to think of. So give it a good shot, okay? And we'll start again and do the whole thing.
Okay.
Ne pleure pas, Sancho, ne pleure pas, maman. Ton maître n'est pas mort, il n'est pas loin de toi. Il vit dans une île heureuse où tout est pire et sans mensonge. Dans l'île enfin trouvée, où tu viendras un jour, dans l'île désirée. Oh mon ami Sancho, les livres sont brûlés, infante tas de cendres, si tous les livres mentiers, il suffira pour que je vive fantôme dans la vie et réel dans la mort, tel l'étrange sort du pauvre Don qui chante.
Terrific, terrific. The legato was really good this time. Really good. And I felt you were really using your body this time, as opposed to maybe the first time, partially because of nerves, I'm sure, just having to do this with a stranger, that you partially were going from here up instead of lower up. This was terrific. And I would keep working with the space, because I think that helps even bring more of the really nice resonance that you have here into the picture. Do you have any questions?
None particular. Thank you, Ms. Dutton.
It's my pleasure. It sounds terrific, really.
Thank you, Tyler Anderson and Jane. Thank you. I should say, Ms. Dutton, thank you very much. Excuse me.
That's okay. My students call me Jane. It's okay.
Okay. All right, good. Now that takes us to the final singer for the evening. That's Milica Samardzija, and she's coming to us from Pennsylvania.
Hello.
So Mila, here you go.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Do you have a brother who sings?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
Samardzija.
Yes, I got to work with him in Italy a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he said very, very great things about you.
Well, he was lying, but you know, brothers have tendency to do that. So I will give the floor to you, and you may start.
Okay. My name is Mila Samardzija, and I am a senior voice performance major here at Florida Southern College. Right now I'm in Philadelphia, but this evening I am going to be singing O mio babino caro from Johnny Schicchi by Puccini, And in this aria, I am singing as a young woman named Laretta, and I am begging my father to go and help me buy an engagement ring so I can marry the man I love. And I'm threatening him and saying, if you're not going to let this happen, then I'm going to go to the Ponte Vecchio and jump into the Arno. Oh mio bambino caro, mi Sì, sì, ci vuoi amare. E se non passa
Really beautiful, really beautiful. I love the color of your voice. It's really nice and rich, just really beautiful, really nice. I especially liked the way that you went up to the first A flat. I think the vowels and the consonant combinations for the first one are really good for a singer. The ah vowels, they really help with all of it. It's a little harder as it goes on. And I think Mi Strogo is very definitely the hardest one. At least if I had to sing it, that would be the one that would be the hardest for me. What I want you to do is, first of all, I like your jaw position. I think it's really nice for most of the range of this piece. I do see that you open it nicely for a higher note. But if the vowel is not a tall vowel written like strugo or the one that's on an E vowel up there, that it tends to not open tall. And we want to try to get it to open nice and tall. And I always tell my students that this is not the most important opening when you're trying to open your jaw. This is the more important opening. It is the actual joint where it opens. And you realize that it's not a hinge joint, so it doesn't open like this, like a duck would open. It literally feels as though the top lifts up and over the bottom jaw. Again, I mentioned earlier, there's this muscle here, right here, that stretches in both directions. So I would like you one time, I'm just going to have you sing the A flat to A flat, just the octave, on ah or aw, whichever you prefer. And all I want you to do is think of separating your molars from each other as you go up. Now keep breath underneath it too.
Okay.
But the idea is that it lifts like that. Yeah, very nice. What did that feel like?
That felt like it just really went up without even, just
Without trying.
effort. Yeah.
Right, without any effort. And it should feel that way. That's the idea. I don't believe that A flat is a high note for you. Am I correct about that? Yeah.
No, it's not yet.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So don't, even though it's the highest note in this piece, don't treat it as if it's a high note.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the other thing that's so the first one is very good. You've got that one down. So this one is a shorter interval when it goes to mi strugo. What I want you to think about is that separation still, even though the interval's smaller, and you're going to, this is going to be one of the crazier things I say today. You're going to, instead of pronouncing the S with the tip of the tongue, I want you to imagine you're doing it with the sides of your tongue. Mi strugo. Instead of mi strugo, strugo, here, but more here. Or the idea of it's more by the molars, so it gets right into there. Can you just separate that out for me?
Mi strugo and mi tormento.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you do know that's not how it sounded when you did it in the piece. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. So it just got a little too much forward in not the right way forward. Forward, I love forward when it's in the mask, but we don't want forward in the teeth. I always say to my students, you have two instruments as a singer. You have a choral instrument that has to be here, has to be, because the goal of a choir is to take 80 people, make 80 people sound like one person. The goal of a soloist is to have one person not sound like anybody else, for you to be your own individual singer. And so you don't want to access this, you want to access this. I think as long as you think opening from here and using more of the sides of your tongue instead of getting it towards your teeth so that the diction is going to be right about here, this song is a piece of cake for you, or this aria is a piece of cake for you. Can we do Si si ci voglio andare?
Si, si, ci voglio andare. E si
There you go. And it just, you moved the S, you just pronounced it a little bit differently with your tongue and it solved your problem.
I've never had it feel like that ever when I sing this.
Yeah, because you want it to be as close to the first one as possible. And that means it's not modifying. You still sang the right vowel and the right consonant. You just played around with where you pronounced it in your mouth. That's all you did. And it allowed your jaw to open in the correct way, and it allowed the space that you had back here to stay. Very good. Can we do that on the second C? The first C I like. This one needs a little bit more room in it, I think. I think it goes a little too forward in a teeth way. Good. Can I stop you there? Si, si, chi. Have the chi also be back there a little bit. And then with the voglio, O vowels have a tendency to let the lower jaw kind of come forward in a way that you don't want it to. So when you do a V, and I was telling Jessica the same thing, but that's when the internet was kind of breaking up. B's, P's, F's, and V's, those classification of consonants. Take your upper lip, put it over your lower lip to pronounce them. That way the lower jaw will stay in the right place. Voglio, voglio, as opposed to voglio, voglio. So CC one more time. Good. That meant that time that all stayed in line, and it was the same sound from the very first note all the way through. And this is a tricky little area because there are a lot of E vowels that can get out of line easily. And for me, when I'm teaching singers, what I want what my final goal is that the sound all sounds like it's coming from the same singer. The middle voice, the low voice, the upper voice, you know it's all from the same instrument. It's not one instrument over here and then another one this way and another one this way. And that lined all of that up. It's really quite terrific, I have to say. And I thought that you did a really nice job of expressing what you were singing. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you been taught to lift here?
Yes, at points in my life.
Okay, it helps you. And you also have a natural lift here. So use that. Again, you don't want the corners to spread, of course, but you're not doing that. You're keeping everything tall. So I'd love to do this again because I think it's really beautiful. See if in the process of, one A flat after another, if you can get the molars to separate from each other and keep the diction in line with your molars on those upward pitches.
Okay. All right.
Okay? You can,
The accompaniment or
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Can I stop you? I'm sorry to have you start again.
It's fine.
Okay. So I talked a little bit about this, and you do have it on 90% of your vowels, but the O vowel is where you get rid of that.
Okay.
So try not to. So the very first pitch, oh, meow, you can still have a hint of a lift here. I mean, so the way my facial structure is, I have really big, these are called nasolabial folds. I have really big ones.
Yeah, I have really big smile.
And so I don't want you to exactly imitate me because it won't look that way because I'm really deep there. I only need you to lift from like here to here. That's all I need. And it's just a hint of having joy as you do it. Oh, mio, as opposed to, oh, mio bambino. Can you start again? excellent job. Really excellent. All of those A flats all matched each other now. They all sounded like the first one, which you do like falling off a log. I will tell you, when you did this on the O's, it just put it in, especially the very first note, it put it in the whole first phrase in a different place, in a different level of singing. Really terrific, terrific job. Watch the ones that end on O, bello, anello, those, keep that up when you go. It's hard because you're going down in pitch usually, but keep that slight lift here and they'll line up really, really well. Excellent job, really. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, any questions? So I'm sorry.
I have no questions. You were very, very helpful.
Good, good, excellent, excellent.
So thank you, singers.
Yes.
Yeah, Jessica, Cooper,
Hey.
Tyler, and
Yay.
Mila. Really wonderful. We have a few minutes left. If anyone has any questions for Ms. Jane Dutton, I'm checking the chat box here. Or if you want to just unmute and ask, jump in. Anybody?
Everybody's zoomed out.
Could you talk a little bit about, Ms. Dutton, how you got started as far as your education and how you just got into this profession? Okay,
so my mother made me take voice lessons in high school. I grew up in a very small town in Indiana, and we had a good summer musical theater group, community theater. And I loved to do that kind of thing. And I started getting little parts in the musicals, and I would get up routinely and breathe in the middle of words because I had no idea what I was doing. So my mom thought it would be a good idea for me to take voice lessons to learn more about how to do it. And I never intended to do it as a career. I thought musical theater was a hobby for me, and I never intended to do it as a career. And I took voice lessons with a woman who had had her undergraduate and master's degree from Indiana University School of Music. So she was classically trained, and she put up with me for about 6 weeks of trying to belt. And I'm not a good belter. I stop at A in the middle of the staff. I cannot and have never been able to go higher than that. And so after 6 weeks, she said to me, now listen, I would like you to learn this little Italian song. And it was Seven Crudele from 24 Italian Arias. And she said, or at least I think it was either that or Caro Mio Ben. It was one of those. And I thought it was a little exotic to sing in Italian because I was from a small town in Indiana. And I sang it, and I came back and I sang it for her, and it fit my voice so much better than what I was trying to do. And she looked at me and she said, I think you should go to college and major in music. And because I was really naive, I was like, okay. And so because I grew up about an hour away from IU School of Music, I auditioned for IU. They took me, and I stayed there for an undergrad and master's, and then went to the East Coast, did an artist diploma at Yale, and then started a career. So I got very lucky along the way. I will say I worked really hard, and I was really fortunate to have some incredible teachers along the way, both at Yale and at IU. So I feel I did work hard, but I was also very lucky to be put in front of the right people who could help me.
Did you study with Phyllis Curtin at Yale?
No, I was after that. I studied with Doris Cross. Yeah, I studied with Doris Cross, and I studied with Margaret Harshaw at IU, and then when I went to Yale, I studied with Doris, and Doris was has been my teacher for the rest of my career.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much. That's so interesting. It's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, I think you never know how you're going to end up in this, in studying classical music like this. It certainly at 16 was not my plan. I didn't start taking voice lessons until I was 17.
Great. Oh, thank you so much.
Any other questions for Miss Jane Dutton? Well, I have one.
Okay.
I'm wondering, how are you dealing with the plan now? I mean, how are things going at IU and teaching and with all of the pandemic things going on? How is that working out for you all?
So I was really fortunate. I'm actually teaching in person. They were able to find us because most of the regular classes are online. They were able to find large classrooms for the voice teachers and the wind teachers to teach in if they wanted to do in person. So I'm in a large classroom that probably is for 30 to 35 people. The pianist, the singer, and I probably each have at least 12 to 15 feet in between us. And everybody is masked. And so that's been really interesting. For some reason, I decided this was going to be the semester that I really concentrated on the jaw, and I can't see a single jaw, but I somehow have decided this is what I'm going to do. I've also been able to hold studio class. It's different. We take an enormous break in the middle for the air exchange to clear the room. And I don't allow the whole class in there at the same time, only those who are singing, and the rest watch on Zoom. We've done 2 operas so far. Well, IU is super lucky because we have an enormous theater, and the stage in the theater is really large. And because of that, we have a director on faculty who is super creative, and he was able to keep everybody 100 square feet away from each other and still tell the stories. We did Mark Adama's Little Women and just finished Barbara of Seville. And we'll do 3 operas next semester too, if things hold the way that they have held this semester. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's
So
that's what we feel.
this is the last week that we're in person. So I will finish out the semester. The last 2 weeks will be online, and then the spring semester we will start online for 3 weeks before the students can come back to campus in February.
Wow.
The plan was to avoid COVID and flu at the same time.
Right. And we're under a similar schedule. Once we get to, this is our last full week, really. And once everyone goes home on Tuesday night, then we won't see one another till around about the end of January of next year.
Yeah.
Which seems a little odd to say, but that's the truth.
Yeah. I'm in a bit of denial this week because we finish on Friday of this week. And I'll see you February 7th that's when we restart again in person. It's the week of the 8th or the 7th of February.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it sounds very similar. And I'm looking through the chat box again, just to see if there are any questions. I don't see any. Ms. Jane Dutton, do you have any questions for us?
I don't, is anyone planning on continuing their music studies past an undergrad degree? Are they interested in grad school? I can always answer questions about the process of going to grad school or how to apply to grad school if anybody has any interest in that.
Yeah, and I'm looking in the chat box. I think they're thinking one new message. Let's see what that is. Mila is in the process of applying right now. And so is Jessica, actually.
Good.
Right.
Good.
And so they're all juggling with that and with recommendation letters and that kind of thing. So what is the audition schedule like at IU?
We're going to do everything via video this year because it just is probably not. We start our auditions usually in January, and I just don't think travel will be possible at that point. I do know there's some universities that have a live audition possibility, but I think most universities are doing the bulk of their graduate school auditions and undergraduate on, you create videos. And I know at IU, you have a pre-screened video, and with the pre-screened videos, you can make new ones to submit in February as your final videos. So presumably as young singers, you grow in those 2 months. So you get another shot to give new videos.
That sounds great.
But it's a lot of recording for everybody. And I know how stressful this is. And I applaud anyone who is still trying is still practicing and is still, dealing with all the technology and all that kind of stuff. It really means that you guys want to do it. And I really applaud you for, especially the 4 singers who are willing to make this work this way. It is not easy, and it's not easy under normal circumstances. And then to add in, it's like we added 20 levels of difficulty to the whole thing. So
Yeah, really true. And
for the professors as well.
It's true.
well, here's Julia Barosas. She was considering IU for undergraduate voice studies. Does everyone still audition with the same piece?
So that is only for undergraduates. And we have a thing where everybody learns Star Vicino, because the reason is that there's one particular tricky passage in that, and it is to gauge musicianship skills. It's not even necessarily for voice, but as soon as that's only for pre-screen for undergrads, nothing for graduates like that at all. And you don't have to sing that. It wouldn't have to sing that in your audition.
Okay, all right. Julia, I hope that does it, answers your question there for you. Great, and some thank yous there, of course, for the masterclass. And Jane, it's been a pleasure having you here and working with our students. It's just such a breath of fresh air in some ways. I can't put my finger on it exactly. Just it feels like that. So I thank you. And I know the students who I'm seeing in the chat box, thank yous. And it's just really wonderful that you could be with us. So
well, it's terrific. It's just been terrific today to have you here. I really enjoyed it too, and I know all the students did.
Well, good. Thank you.
It's always wonderful, I think, even for those of us who are teaching, to hear other ideas and to get, different ways of saying things. And it's really so helpful.
I would totally agree with that. Every time that I get to sit in a masterclass, I'm like, oh, that's a great way to say that. And I steal all the time, and I'll fully admit it. So that
I thought that several times today. I thought, why didn't I think of saying it like that?
but my thing is, and I don't take credit for any of it. I was really lucky to have really good teachers, and I just basically recreate what they've told me. So
exactly.
Yeah, I was super lucky. So I know exactly what you mean, because I have one particular breathing exercise that I saw in a masterclass, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And I wasn't even teaching then. And I was like, that's a great exercise. And I use it all the time for my students.
Oh, that's super.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you always remember something can always come back, and you can also put it in your own language and give it on to someone else.
Right. Right.
Which is terrific.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to, some more thank yous here, but I'm going to say that should the students have other questions, I'm sure that something will come up. I'll gather them and reach out and see if we can't get some answers to those questions, if that's all right with you.
Absolutely. I go on break on Friday, so I've got, it's COVID, you can't go anywhere. So I'm just hanging out at home.
Okay. All right. Jane, thank you very much. And everybody, thank you all very much for all of your help.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. We'll have you back again.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
I would love that.
Okay. All right, we're going to sign off. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.